91%. A 91% win rate. I mean, that's a huge claim in the world of trading. But it's exactly what the source for today's explainer, Quantified Strategies, put to the test. So you gotta ask, how is that even possible? Well, we're gonna break down the exact strategy they used according to their own research. Let's get into it. So this is the image that really caught our eye. You can't miss it, right? A back-tested equity curve with a massive 91.03% win rate stamped right on it. It's a bold, bold claim, and it's all based on a specific set of rules they call the Triple RSI strategy. Okay, so what is the secret sauce here? Is this just some flashy number, or is there a real, repeatable logic that we can actually learn from? That's exactly what we're going to unpack. All right, let's dive into the strategy itself. It's actually built around a super common technical indicator, but, and this is the key part, the way they use it is anything but common. So the foundation of this whole thing is the Relative Strength Index, the RSI. It's a momentum indicator that helps you spot potentially overbought or oversold conditions. And the source is super clear about this, just using the default settings isn't going to get you these kinds of results, not even close. Okay, so before we jump into the exact rules, we really need to understand the why behind it all. What market behavior is this strategy actually trying to catch? Well, it all boils down to one single, really powerful concept. And that concept is mean reversion. The source really hammers this point home. The RSI indicator works best on assets that do this. The idea is pretty simple, right? What goes up tends to come down, and what goes down, well, it often comes back up, eventually getting back to its historical average. And according to the source, stocks are a perfect example of this. And honestly, this quote from the source material just nails it. See, they're not trying to predict the future or find the next hot stock. No, they're simply watching for temporary dips inside a much bigger, already established uptrend. Think of it like this. The stock market's journey is generally uphill, right? But the path is super bumpy. This strategy isn't about guessing the final destination. It's all about systematically buying on those little bumps, those dips, and then selling just a few days later when the path smooths out again. Okay, now for the main event, the part you've been waiting for. The source lays out 5 very specific, non-negotiable rules. This isn't about your gut feeling. It's a precise code for when to get in and when to get out. And it's absolutely crucial to know what this code was tested on, because all the results we're about to look at are from a backtest on SPY. That's the ETF that tracks the S&P 500, and it goes all the way back to when it started in 1993. Okay, let's break these down one by one. First up, the 5-day RSI has to be below 30. That's our first clue that things might be oversold and ready for a bounce. Then, for rule 2, that same RSI needs to have fallen for 3 days straight. This just confirms that, yeah, there's been some real selling pressure. Now, rule 3 is a really clever filter. It says the RSI had to be below 60 just 3 days ago. Why? Well, it helps make sure we're not trying to catch a falling knife, buying into a stock that's just in a total free fall. And then rule 4, maybe the most important one, the closing price has to be higher than the 200-day moving average. This confirms we're only buying dips within a major long-term uptrend. Simple enough? And the exit? Even simpler. You just sell as soon as that 5-day RSI pops back above 50. That's your signal that the short-term momentum is back. So you take those exact rules, program them in. How did it actually do? I mean, over nearly 3 decades? The results are, well, they're pretty fascinating. Okay, but what's really interesting here isn't just the win rate, it's how rare the signal is. Think about it. Over almost 30 years, these exact conditions only happened 78 times. That's just a couple of trades a year. But, and this is the kicker, when they did happen, a whopping 91% of them were winners. The average gain was about 1.4% over an average hold time of just 6 days. And here's what that looks like visually. This is the equity curve from their backtest. You can see it's not some crazy get-rich-quick rocket ship. It's a slow, steady grind upwards. According to this test, it's a super selective strategy that was just really good at consistently finding these profitable, short-term little pockets of opportunity. Okay, but hold on. Before anyone rushes off to plug these rules into their trading platform, the source gives some incredibly important context. Because a single backtest on a single stock, that's not the whole story. And they repeat this point over and over again in their research. The RSI is not some magic bullet. It's not a standalone indicator. All its power comes from combining it with other filters, like that 200-day moving average we talked about, and using very specific settings that probably aren't the default in your charting software. Yeah, for example, a lot of traders just use the default 14-day RSI. But the research from Quantified Strategies suggests that for this whole mean reversion thing in stocks, much shorter periods, we're talking between 2 and 6 days, have historically worked a lot better. A shorter period makes the indicator way more sensitive, which is exactly what you need to catch these super brief dips. So, to wrap this all up, what are the key takeaways from the source? First, this whole logic works best on things that tend to snap back to their average, like stocks. Second, never ever use RSI in a vacuum. Filters are your best friend. Third, don't be afraid to try shorter settings. They can be more powerful for this kind of strategy. And maybe most importantly, you have to backtest. What works on SBY might totally fail on something else. And of course, the big one, the disclaimer you always hear for a reason, past performance is no guarantee of future results. So look, the real value here isn't about just blindly copying these 5 rules. It's about understanding the logic, right? The logic of combining a core idea like mean reversion with specific, measurable filters to create a testable edge. And that kind of leaves us with one final question for you to think about. What kind of simple, logical filters could you add to make the tools you already use even more effective?